Hello, welcome to the Book Fix podcast, a podcast where we save lives one book at a time.
So true.
I'm your host, Chelly.
And I'm your host, Yahaira. Dude, we have not been together since September.
I know, it's funny because it's like right now it felt so like scripted. Damn, it's been a minute since I've seen you.
September?
Have I not seen you since then?
I don't think you have.
We didn't hang out during Halloween. No?
No.
Well, happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Black Friday. Happy Cyber Monday. Whenever you're watching this, Turbo Tuesday. It's got to exist somewhere.
Taco Tuesday.
I know. Oh, yeah, of course. But
I can't believe how long it's been since we've been physically together. So if you haven't been listening to us before this, we've been filming remote. Yeah. Well, mostly just filming the audios.
Yeah, we don't film ourselves, and that's been weird.
Yeah, we probably should, though.
Yeah, we should. But the point of it was to not have to do it as often anymore, because we were relying on it for a bit because we hadn't seen each other in 2 months. But we're back.
We're back. I've missed you.
I've missed you too.
Yeah, you better.
It feels nice to be back. We have a lot to talk about today. But you know what? We have to like kind of shake off the nerves. Let's just talk about book boyfriends, because that's the theme of today's episode, I guess.
Book boyfriends is always the theme of our episodes.
Oh my, I know.
That is our podcast.
Type of book we read. Should we change the title of our podcast?
The book boyfriend.
The book boyfriend fix. Oh,
write that down.
Not too bad. Yeah, just a joke. It's like TM, copyright it. But what was your first book boyfriend that you can remember? Like you were so into them.
Book boyfriend? I can't remember reading anything, because when I was younger, I wasn't really into romance. So the first romance was Twilight that I can remember.
That's a good one. So
I think Edward was my first book boyfriend. I can't think of any other book boyfriends before that. What about you? I feel like yours is embarrassing.
It's not embarrassing. It's good. I don't like J.K. Rowling, but I did when I was younger. And everyone was super into Draco, which I get it. You be into Draco. But I was super into Ron. That was my... No! You don't get to make that.
Ron?
Yeah! He was so... Give me a moment.
I'm picturing him right now, and I just...
You don't get it. You've never experienced Harry Potter. And honestly, you don't have to.
Yeah, I watched the first one with
Okay,
my family. No, when it came out.
Okay, that's
so
different.
none of them were like...
Children. They were children.
And so was I. and I wasn't like, whoa, it was so cute.
I love him. I love Rupert Grint so much.
But like, book boyfriend? You loved him in the book too?
Yes, I did.
Really?
I was so... Dude, I don't know if you knew how into Harry Potter I was.
I know how into Harry Potter you are.
Not currently.
Sometimes you go through these phases.
I do, but... Okay. Don't expose me. But I just think I was young. I was dumb.
So you're saying you're not into him as an adult?
No, I still love him. Don't get it twisted.
Him as an adult, I mean.
Yeah, I love Rupert Grint.
Oh.
And Ronald Weasley. Thank you. That was my first book boyfriend. I was never really into Edward. I was more of a Charlie stan.
Really says your type.
I know.
She liked dads.
I really did.
No, I didn't like Charlie
When
I was younger. I like him now, but not when I was younger.
Oh, whoa. I remember going, I think I've talked about this on the podcast before.
A couple times, yeah.
Just going to a library event where we did a Twilight showing, and all the girls there, I was with my friends, all the girls there were like, what team are you? Edward or Jacob? Edward or Jacob? And I was like, Charlie. And everyone was like got quiet. Like, Charlie? Who's that? The dad.
Not even Carlisle. You said Charlie.
Charlie was a good one.
You know who else? Who else was a book boyfriend? 4 from Divergent.
Dude, that's so funny that you say that. I told you that I found all the books at a little library.
They were actually mine.
I know.
I'm just kidding.
Whoa, is that why the 4th book is called 4? Oh my gosh. I'm learning more and more. I've never read those books or watched the movies. Yeah, that's why I got them.
Oh. Do you know what happens at the end?
I know who dies, which is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
But
it's the biggest secret.
Well,
but
I'll
not
see
secret.
if he's book boyfriend material when I read it. I'll let you know. I'm nervous.
What about PETA?
I love PETA.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. Wait, hold on. Yes. I almost forgot about PETA. I'm so sorry, PETA.
How could you?
I feel like it's always forgotten. We're going to talk a lot about book boyfriends because today we are talking about...
The book boyfriends on TikTok.
Yeah. A Court of Thorns and Roses, ACOTAR by Sarah J Maas.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like ever since we started this podcast, this was one of those stories waiting to happen.
And we pushed it. Mm-hmm. We hella pushed it.
And we weren't going to do it, but then we decided we were going to have a fantasy month.
Yeah.
And you had a good chunk of a break. So I was like, okay, well, we should probably do a longer story since you have time. And I had time too. So yeah, we just tackled it together.
I can't believe we did it. And I think the driving force also, because we were going to have a fantasy month. But if you remember, on our season 2 finale, the voting game we decided to include these hollow vows.
Oh my God. No. Okay. So actually we filmed another video that hasn't seen the light of day yet. It will eventually. But we read 1-star reviews to our 5-star books, these hollow vows, which a 5-star for us. And so when we were reading the 1-star reviews, they kept saying, oh, this is just a copy of ACOTAR.
Yep.
This is the cheap version of ACOTAR, this and that. And we were so hard defending these hollow vows, but we realized well, we haven't even read ACOTAR, so we can't really defend it.
But you know what? Today is the day. Now that we've read it, now we can actually compare. And I think we should start off the way we always do, where we guess each other's ratings.
Well, first let me say a summary.
Oh, you're right. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm gonna give a spoiler-free summary of ACOTAR. But if it sounds like something you want to read, if you haven't read it, I feel like everyone's read this book but us. Yeah. I would say pause right after the summary and come back to us, because after that...
Yeah, we'll see you in 5 months, because that's going to take you fucking long.
It didn't take us that long.
I know.
Okay. ACOTAR is a Beauty and the Beast retelling where our human main character, Feyre, kills a fairy. So as a punishment, she has to live in the spring court with the fairies. She is taken by Tamlin, who is the High Lord of the Spring Court, and during her time there, she learns that the fairies are cursed by a blight, where they are essentially weakened, and it becomes her problem because she is falling in love with Tamlin.
Oh my gosh. If you have not read it, go read it. But let's start the way we always do, where we guess each other's overall thoughts.
Yeah, because we don't talk about these books ahead of time. We want to keep it spicy, and I don't think we want to really influence each other.
Did we tell each other anything?
No.
Okay, good. Because I couldn't remember if I posted.
Besides saying oh damn, this one's really long.
Oh yeah.
I think besides saying that, but it's a given. It's 500 pages plus. 500 plus. Yeah, I don't actually know. Lot.
And oh my gosh, I didn't buy the physical book, but I did go to our local bookstore that's in our hometown, because I was like, if I could find a copy of it, a beaten ass copy of it that's $7, I'm gonna go buy it. So I went to go check, and there was one, but it was $16, and I was like, I don't want to pay that much.
Yeah.
That font was in 10 font. I'm like, hello?
Are you serious?
Yeah, it was super tiny, no spaces, all bunched together.
Oh, no, I can't do that.
I can't do that.
No, I ended up getting it on Libby, luckily, so.
Yeah, I had an Audible credit, so I got it on Audible. But I feel like you love fantasy books. I think you love anything that has to do with otherworldly type of stuff. So fantasy, any type of fiction that is away from the norm. That being said... That being said, I do think you overall enjoyed it. Mostly because there are characters in this book that I think you will like. If you were to continue this, or already continued it, because I don't know. But if you were to continue this, there's one character specifically where I'm like, oh, he's your favorite. He's your favorite. And because of that saving grace, that light at the end of the tunnel, I think you're going to give it a 3.5. 8 out of 5.
Do you notice that you always guess me around a 3?
Yeah, because I don't think
you always guess me around a 3.
The thing is, if we're reading a book like this, I feel like you middle ground a lot. But if you read a book that you absolutely hate, you would be like, I can't give it a 0, so I'll give it a 1. And I don't think it's a 5 for you. Like, comparing it to other books, I don't think this is a 5 for you.
Okay.
It's as much as I could say. I am contractually obligated to say no more. Go ahead.
I told her to stop. Okay, I hate having to guess for you. Why did we decide doing this?
Oh my gosh.
I think that I've said this in every episode, but you are the most difficult person to guess for in terms of whether you like something or you don't. Because most of the time you are very obvious with your feelings. But obviously, like, we don't talk about these things, so when you love something, you love it hard. So when you can't show me that, I'm like, she doesn't like it. I always automatically go, I don't think she likes it because she hasn't said anything about it. I think that you enjoyed it overall. I think you liked that it was fantasy as well. I don't know if you loved the journey, though, because the journey is very long. So I'm going to guess you would give it like a 2.7.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's a good guess. This is a fucking long book.
Laughing?
I'm just like, where the fuck do we start?
Okay, so let's start at the beginning. So, main character, Feyre. So
she comes from a family that has lost hella money.
Yeah.
Because of a bad investment. Because the dad thought he had it.
The dad is fucking stupid.
Why do fathers always do that?
I don't know.
Is it running the father gene? It's like
I think it does. Just having to
meet up at DadCon. Guys.
Oh, you would love to.
Scheme.
You would love to go there, huh?
I host it. They sadly come up with their own little booth.
Their own mistakes.
I know.
So
we didn't have the same vision.
Feyre has 2 sisters.
Yes.
Elaine.
Yeah, and Nesta.
And she, even though she's the youngest, she is still like the breadwinner because her dad is immobile.
Yeah.
And so she is the hunter. She has to feed them. So while she was hunting, she stumbles upon this wolf who is very obviously a fairy because he's like glowing and shit.
But it was like because it was rumored that you shouldn't be hunting near the border of the Feyland and like.
Oh yes, because there's a treaty pretty much, so that's what keeps them separated and that's what keeps the peace. And
she tried convincing herself. She's like, you know what? What are the odds it would be a fairy? It's not going to be a fairy. I need to feed my fucking family.
She knew it was a fucking fairy.
Yeah, she knew. Shot this wolf, skinned it, sold its pelt. Turns out it was a fairy.
Who would have fucking thought? But the only reason that she finds out is because she's at home with her family. And then, boom, Tamlin. I'll just say Tamlin. Tamlin as his, like, what the fuck was he?
A monster form. It was like, it had a wolf face.
No.
Yeah, he had a wolf face.
No.
Yeah, he was monster form and it looked as if it was a wolf.
No, because remember he had the body of a horse, the face of a deer, the body of a cat. It was like the weirdest descriptions ever. It doesn't fucking matter. Anyway, it was something. It was an animal. And so we know it's Tamlin now, but it's Tamlin and he's like, "You killed my BFF and now you have to be punished." And so allegedly in the treaty, it's an eye for an eye, right? So if you kill a fairy, the fairy can kill you or a fairy can kill you. Yeah. And so he tells her, you can either be killed right now or you can just come live with me. Maybe. I don't know.
Don't make it weird.
I mean, just maybe live with me. My castle is... My castle is very fucking big, so you can fit in there.
Oh my god.
And so she decides to leave her family.
At this point of the story, were you like Team Feyre?
Yeah, because I felt bad for her because of her sisters. Yeah. Because her sisters were so useless, no offense to both of them, but they really didn't want to do anything. They didn't want to get their hands dirty. Poor Feyre, like, she felt obligated to help them because her mother passed away. Yeah. And she made a promise to her mom well, her mom made her promise that
Yeah.
she would take care of her family and look after them. And so,
And like her family's so unappreciative of everything she does. So I was, as soon as she started admitting to Tamlin, like, oh yeah, it was me. I did it. Yeah, it was totally, because she knew it's like, okay, what's the point in lying if they can't lie? I don't know how he's gonna take my lie.
oh yeah, fairies can't lie, allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. But at that point, I felt so bad for her. So I was like, oh man, this fucking sucks. But I knew the road was gonna be bumpy, but it was gonna be good for her at the end. I was like,
she's gonna be okay.
This monster is gonna be hot. It's okay.
And he was.
Yeah. Wait, when?
I feel like as soon as he was described in his monster form, Chelly was probably like, damn, I hope he stays like that.
Why? I'm not a furry, but if I was, I'd understand.
No, not just because of that, because you like monster romances.
I do. Oh, okay. Then just cut out the first
No, I won't.
Just cut out the first statement. So when they go to, what's the land that they're at again? It starts with the letter P.
Perithian.
Mm-hmm. So when they go to Perithian, they go to Tamlin's house, and Feyre is just kind of waiting, like, okay, I'm either gonna become a slave, I'm gonna die, something's gonna happen to me. Mm-hmm. But Tamlin doesn't do anything.
No.
And she's just kind of there. And at one point, he even says, like, do you have any hobbies? Like,
can you fucking do something?
It's kind of boring. You just sit there.
He's like been gone the whole day. She's still sitting in the same fucking spot.
He just got himself a bad roommate. It's like, dude, I know you don't have a job and I know I kidnapped you, but like, you don't wash dishes. It's like,
they're piling up.
I don't want to be that person,
but can you at least scrub a little?
Yeah. Can you do something? But he hasn't shown any indication that he's going to hurt her. Mm-hmm. So she's just kind of like, okay, well, fine. But she still locks her door, by the way.
Yeah, but also he doesn't try to romance her either. In the beginning. He's very awkward. He'll say something and it's like, was that a compliment or are you dragging her?
Yeah, because it'll literally be like, oh, your hair smells nice.
Oh, no, it was like your hair's clean or you look clean or something like that. And it's like, okay,
babe,
fuck.
I get when you notice my hygiene.
He has a way with words.
Yeah, he really does. He really does.
He got me there.
But there's also another character who is
your favorite character.
My favorite character, Lucien.
Mm-hmm. Because he's a fox. I know how you like. I know how you feel about foxes.
You got me there.
Thank you.
He wasn't my favorite. I did love him though, because he was like the kinder one.
Yeah, Lucien is like the funny one.
Yeah,
he's the third wheel. Yeah. He's just always there. By the way, so they're cursed, right? So they have these permanent masks on, which his was a fox.
Mm-hmm. And it's said to be a curse that has affected them for 50 years. Mm-hmm. No, 49 years?
Or it's going to be 49.
Yeah.
Because it's nearing its end, but she doesn't know that.
But it's just masks that they can't take off. But that's just, for right now, that's just something that is happening. And it's only happening to a certain court, which is the Spring Court, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Which is Tamlin's court.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what you want to talk about next, because I kind of just want to go.
I kind of just want to get to the end already, because I feel like there's so much that happens in this story. Honestly, it could have been cut down 300 pages.
It could have, because at this point, I blacked out, and all of a sudden, we're at the ceremony chapter, where they're doing like the ceremony where you have to...
the mating ceremony.
The mating one. So you have to leave and kill an animal, and then you're supposed to find a girl and have sex with her.
Yeah, obviously.
And Tamlin tells Feyre, like,
stay in your fucking room. Don't get out.
And like close the door, put a lock, put this. And she's like, I'm bored. So she leaves, and she ends up in a place where there's like 3 fairies or 3 fae, and they're just kind of like, oh, you're here for us, and they start touching her.
They start like touching her. They're like, hell yeah, we're about to do this ritual, right?
Mm-hmm. And so she gets creeped out, but a guy comes, and it's a guy who is like
described to be the most beautiful thing she's ever seen.
And your favorite character.
I don't know about that, but
yes, it is. You don't have to lie to me. So he pops up and pretends to kind of know her. It's like, hey, oh my God, come over here. Just to get her away from that situation. And I don't remember, does Lucien come to pick her up? Or does she go home and Lucien's there? Because Lucien's the first one she pops up.
I can't remember.
Because I know, okay, she ends up home and her and Lucien have a conversation and he's like, oh my fucking God, you're so stupid. Like, if you were out there, like, this would have happened to you. They were all having sex out there. So you literally stood there with guys thinking that you wanted to have sex with them. Mm-hmm. Like, I can't believe you did that. And she's like, you know what? Whatever. And Tamlin comes home and it's just like.
And he's still, like, gone because obviously this whole ritual is affecting his mental state.
It's so
and
funny,
he like bites her.
Yeah, but do you remember what he says before? He's just kind of like, you know, I smelled you out there and you weren't fucking there. But I smelled you out there and I looked for you the whole 2 minutes.
Where the fuck were you?
You know, 2 whole minutes later, I couldn't hold it in. So I just had to find a random bae.
Oh my God. Yeah. And he was telling her like, oh, it's your fault. Yeah. Because it should have been you.
Not to be gentle, but I would have been gentle with you. So let me fucking bite you. And that's what happens.
And then she gets turned on and he can smell that on her apparently.
Yeah. God. But
love that for her.
That's the first time where it's like apparent that they both want each other. Because I don't think it was beforehand.
They had little moments before that, but that was the first time where it turned a little sexual, I guess.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah. So then the next day.
That's all he does. He just bites her.
Yeah.
It's not like
they fall in love.
Oh. What?
But they fall in love because that really got to them because the next day happens and they have like a little argument. I don't even fucking remember what they argued about.
I think he was roasting her that she can't read. I'm just kidding. It wasn't a roast, but she would get offended because he would bring up the fact that she can't read, and she would be like, you know what? I'm fucking leaving now.
I hate it. I hate that.
He was supposed to help her learn how to read, but he would never like stuck around to actually do it. He would just be like, okay, here's the library. Yep. Figure it out. Bye.
Oh my God. But they make up.
Okay, so before we talk about the end, let's just acknowledge something, okay? Because it's important to Feyre's character. Okay. So Feyre was trying to leave. She always had plans to leave this really nice castle, you know, and return to her little hut. Yeah. But when she tries to escape, she reveals to Tamlin that promise she made to her mom, right? That, you know what, I have to take care of them because I promised her that. And promises are a really big deal. You know, it's like binding. Mm-hmm. And so Tamlin tells her, he reveals to her that they are being taken care of, that he's taking care of them, that he's giving them a better life. He's like, you being here is pretty much guaranteeing them having a good life. And he tells her that they think that she's out with like a relative, an aunt, taking care of this aunt, and while this is happening, they're being taken care of. So
summer solstice happens and she wears a dress and she's so in love with Tamlin and it's amazing. But she crashes into Reason. I don't like the way the name's pronounced.
I don't either. I don't think anyone does.
I kept saying Rysand because it looks like Rysand.
Yeah, but his nickname is Reese. I know.
Okay, so Reese.
It's like you're saying reason.
Reason. I know. Reese.
Let's just say Reese.
So Reese.
Or Rai.
Stop. You're just gonna keep that. The R man. Okay.
Bat boy. He can't be Batman. It's copyrighted. It's copyrighted.
Bat boy. Okay, so
Reese is also copyrighted.
I hate it. Bat boy TM. So Reese is there there and sees them and is like, ooh, Tamlin, I'm telling. And it's like, who are you going to tell? I know how to say this name.
He was called Amarantha's whore.
Amarantha's whore.
Yes. And by the way, this whole time, Feyre's trying to piece together what this curse is.
Yeah.
And she already knew that this curse was caused by someone, right?
Yeah.
But now she finally has a name. Amarantha. Yeah.
But that happens, and Tamlin is so upset, and they go home.
Wait, before that.
Oh.
Can I just say one thing?
Yes, go ahead.
So, Rhys asks Feyre, what is your name? Right?
Yeah, and she's like, Karen. I don't remember.
Karen Bloom. I don't remember.
It was just like a random name, but it was.
But it was a name of someone that she knew.
Oh,
and this matters.
Yes, that does matter. Okay, so.
And so Rhys. Well, you can tell that Rhys is trying to get the guys from the Spring Court, which is Lucian and Tamlin, to like hurry up. Like they're like, time is wasting. Mm-hmm. You need to speed things up. But so he seems like he's like playing both sides pretty much.
Yes. So when they do get home, Tamlin is basically like, you know what? It's not safe for you here. Mm-hmm. So it's better.
He found a loophole to this stupid treaty.
Yeah.
Which he thought was so important.
Yes. So he said that it's okay for her to go. Mm-hmm. But they love each other so much.
Yeah. There's just so much love oozing out of them.
Yeah. So they do have sex. I don't remember it.
Honestly. I don't either.
I was like trying to remember if I liked the spice in this book, but I actually don't remember it.
I don't remember it either.
But they did have sex. But I thought it was really sweet because like right before he goes to sleep, he whispers that he loves her. And then I thought that was going to be kind of like, oh, he's just not going to mention it again. But he mentions it the next day too.
Because she's leaving the next day. He's kicking her out the day after.
Yep.
So embarrassing.
I know. But she doesn't say it back.
No, because she thinks that if she were to say it back, it would be a burden, that he would not forget her. And so that's why she's like, you know what? I'm just not going to say it. I'm just going to wave. Bye.
I'm not even going to wave. I'm not even going to turn back.
I'm just not even looking
Keep going.
back. Yeah.
So she ends up back with her family, who's living it up.
Living lavishly. Rich. Yeah.
They are living good.
Eating good too.
Yeah. No one really. No one remembers them from their town because they were charmed, but the charm didn't work on all of them.
On Nesta. Just Nesta.
Nesta was the only one who remembered everything that happened, and tells her sister to go back. Right?
She tells her sister, we're good here. You can leave if you want.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Because Feyre is obviously, what's the word? She's frantic about it because she knows that Tamlin's in trouble.
Yep.
And she knows that because Tamlin's in trouble, it's going to affect the humans as well. So it'll bleed into her world. Mm-hmm. And so that's why she decides to just confess to everyone what actually happened. And Nesta's like, I mean, we're fine.
Yeah, you go. You do you.
A woman of many words.
But before that, Feyre did go to her old hometown, and that girl's name who she used,
Karen Bloom. It's not actually her name, but
that she told Rhys, that entire family is gone.
Yeah, they were killed.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Brutally too.
She's like, oh my God, I was gonna tell him.
I was gonna tell him my name.
Imagine, it would have broken my dad's second ankle. God. Mm-hmm. But she goes back to Tamlin's place, to the Spring Court, and Tamlin isn't there, but his house is wrecked. Mm-hmm. And she's like, oh my God, something's happening to my boy.
And Alice is there, which Alice was like her lady in waiting. What are they, the maids?
Yeah.
I don't know, but she was just there helping her out. But Alice is mad. She's just like, you're so stupid. Like, you could have broken this curse, but you didn't. Mm-hmm. And Tamlin actually had like 3 more days to, I don't know, romance her. Yeah. And he decided to send her home because he just loved her so much.
Yeah. It was so sweet of him. But she goes to the other court, right?
Before that, so we learn what could have broken the curse at this point. Do you remember what it was?
It was her saying "I love you" back, which she never fucking did, and
that's
all it could have taken.
That's all it took, literally. And so she learns this, and Alice is pretty much preparing her because she's gonna go what is the other court? I don't remember which one.
Yeah, I don't remember which one either.
So Alice is telling her like there's things that we still can't talk about because they'll probably blow up if they say it.
They're charmed in a way that they can't speak of it.
Exactly. And so she's like telling Feyre, just, open up your ears, listen to everything because we can't tell you everything directly.
Yep. So she goes to the other court and she sees Amarantha. And Amarantha is with Tamlin. And they have rings. Is it both of them that have rings? Or is it just Amarantha?
I think it's just Amarantha.
But she's like, Tamlin's mine unless you can solve 3 tasks, or you can do 3 tasks, or solve this riddle, which I have.
But the way that she said it, she was like, okay, I'll give you 3 tasks to do.
Yes.
And I'll break the curse. But if you solve this riddle, I'll break the curse instantly. And the thing about Amarantha is she wants to have fun,
Yeah.
She wants to have a good time.
Yeah.
And so this is all out of spite because she really wanted Tamlin, but Tamlin didn't give her the time of day. This was 49 years ago or whatever?
Yeah.
However long it was.
Yes.
And so should we just say what the curse was? Yeah. So she cursed his court because he didn't want to be with her. And so she told him that, then the curse can only be broken by a human that hates fairies enough to kill a fairy.
Yes. And
she has to like love you, like genuinely love you. And that's the only way that it could have been broken.
Yes. But when she is at the court in front of Amarantha gives her the choice of doing 3 tasks or answering a riddle. And the riddle that's given to her is, there are those who seek me a lifetime, but never we meet. And those I kiss, but who trample me beneath ungrateful feet. At times I seem to favor the clever and the fair, but I bless all those brave enough to dare. By large my ministrations are soft-handed and sweet, but scorned I become a difficult beast to defeat. For though each of my strikes lands a powerful blow, when I kill slow. When you heard it, did you know the answer?
I felt like it was going to be something better.
It was so easy.
I thought it was easy too, but I was like, there's no way it's love.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Dude.
And it was.
The fact that it was, and she was the only one who didn't get it, I was like, did you not read the same thing?
Feyre isn't the brightest though.
No, she's not.
She's not a
She
smart
had to use
cookie.
all her brain cells for that one.
And even then, she was beaten up first.
Oh yeah, she was. And her 3 tasks, I don't even want to talk about.
It doesn't really matter.
The only one that matters is the last one. So, for her 3 tasks, they were very strenuous. And when it got to the last one,
before we talk about that though. So every task is happening on a full moon.
Yes.
And so they're all in the same court, all of the people watching and shit. And Rhys is there too, as well as Tamlin and Lucian.
Yes.
And so she gets beaten up a lot.
Yeah.
The first time that she gets beaten up really badly, Lucian helps her.
Yes.
The second time she gets beaten up really badly, Lucian cannot help her because he's also beaten up really badly. And so Rhys decides to help her, but for a price.
So Rhys basically says that he will heal her if she swears and promises that for 2 weeks out of the year she will spend time with him. And at first she's like, nah. No,
I thought it was every month.
No, out of the year. Oh, you're right.
It's every month.
It is every month.
Because she is able to compromise and say 1 week every month.
1 week. Oh, are you sure? It was a year.
I'm pretty sure it's every month.
Okay.
You can look it up if you want.
I believe you.
Honestly, it doesn't matter. The point is that she is going to be forced to be around him, forced proximity. And so when he makes this happen for her, a tattoo shows up on her hand, on her palm, and it's an eye. And we quickly learn that with this tattoo, she's able to feel him, like his emotions.
Yes.
And so he does help her on the second task, but it doesn't really matter. Read it. We'll talk about the third task.
Between these tasks also, they have like a meeting place. It's like a party that they go to.
They're always partying.
And when Feyre is there, she crashes into Tamlin and they immediately go into a room and start making out.
Oh, yeah, because this is the night before the last task.
Yes.
So they feel like, oh, you know what? This is our last night. We got to go crazy.
Yes.
Girl, they almost have sex.
Almost. But then Reese is like, what the fuck? You guys can get caught. This is so... Get out of here. And so kicks out Tamlin. And Reese, kisses Feyre.
He starts touching her because they have body paint.
Yes.
And so the body paint will show like who's touched you where.
Yeah.
And so as soon as he's like touching her all over the place, Amarantha shows up with Tamlin and she's like, damn.
Yep. But he did that because he knew Amarantha was coming, right?
Yeah.
So kind of okay.
Yeah, that's what it was implying because he also was telling them Amarantha would literally kill you for this.
I fucking love, though, the first time that she was body painted, because that wasn't the first. The first time, she actually drank wine and danced with Reese, and she sat on his lap, and Tamlin was, like, hella jealous. I fucking love that.
I know how much you love jealousy.
I fucking love that. Oh.
You know what? We should talk about the fact that Reese was, like, drugging her, though. Or getting her drunk, I should say. Yeah, that part I didn't really like, though.
No. Well, I mean, he's not a perfect guy at all.
Wow. Wow, that's not the words I thought you would ever say.
Okay. I don't know.
Well,
we'll talk about that later.
The point is that it's kind of like this big thing, right? Because he's getting her drunk and she is, you know, acting in ways that she wouldn't act if she was sober. Yes. And when she wakes up, she has obviously his, like, hand prints all over her, but it's just like the top of her waist. Yep. And so in a way, like, I mean, it's not good. Obviously it's not good, but like it makes time go by really fast. Like now we're on the first task, second, and then the third, and it goes by so quickly. Yep.
So the third task happens and they're in a room and Amarantha and Tamlin are sitting, like, basically watching Feyre, and there's 3 Fae who have their heads covered in, like, a potato sack, basically. And the task is you have to kill all of these Fae. And she's like,
and then that's it. That's the last task. And Feyre's ready. She's like, oh, hand me my knife. I'm ready. Because she thought that she would have to kill them with their hoods on. Yeah. But then Amarantha was like, no, that's too easy.
So you have to take the hoods off. And she does.
So one by one.
And it sucks because, like, for the first 2, you can hear people in the crowd who are like, oh, no, don't do it. They're crying. Well, they're begging for their lives.
The first one was the one who begged more. Yeah. The second one was like, as long as it frees the court, you know?
Oh, you're right. But then we get to the third one, and it's Tamlin. And she looks up, and Tamlin is sitting, or no, where he was next to Amarantha is someone else. So it was like she was charmed for a sec. And so now she has to kill Tamlin. But she remembers that they mentioned that he has a heart of iron.
Stone.
A heart of stone. Okay.
Well, the thing is that she's freaking out, right? Yeah. And she's looking at him like, wait, is this a joke? Because she knows how much Amarantha loves him, right? Yes. There's no way that Amarantha would actually let him die at the end of this. And so she starts thinking about what Alice said, was like, oh, make sure you're listening to what people are saying. Yep. And she remembers that Lucien has mentioned that Tamlin has a stone for a heart, or a heart of stone. Yes. And somebody else also mentioned it again, and she was like, oh, maybe this means something.
I fucking hated that. I hated that when she pierced him with a knife, she took it out, it was dented, and she was like, thank God.
Wiping the sweat off her brow.
If it had been fake, you know, because, you know, you can have a heart of stone, like, you just are tough love type of person.
Yeah, it's just the same.
It could have just been that, and she would have been like, okay, get up.
Come on.
Where's your stone heart?
Well, either way, like, she would have to do it because that's the only way to free the court.
Yes. And she does it, and he immediately heals. And it happens so quick because that happens, and Amarantha was like, well, I'm not going to let you go. She said I was gonna.
She was like, I never said when. Yeah. When she would break the curse.
And so then
she's fucking beating up Feyre.
Yes.
Feyre is an inch of her life.
Yes, but at that moment too, Feyre's like, wait, the riddle, the answer is the thing that's been with me this whole time, keeping me here. It's love. And then her fucking spine is like broken in half, basically.
It's like that moment with Bella in Breaking Dawn.
Oh my god.
Where Renesmee breaks her spine.
Yep, it's that. That's basically what happens, and Feyre dies.
Well, she's dying, but because she
does die though, right?
I think she's dying. I think she does die eventually, but she sees what's happening through Rhysand's eyes because remember they have that connection, and so she sees that Tamlin kills Amarantha immediately because the curse obviously she did say it would break instantly after she solved the riddle, which it was, and so Tamlin kills her by biting her neck or something.
Yeah.
And so because Feyre is dead and she saved the Spring Court, she is turned into a fairy.
Yeah, into a high fae, right?
Yeah, not just any fairy, a high fae. Yeah.
But I did want to mention something. Throughout that whole exchange in the last task, Amarantha keeps bringing up, like, you don't even love Tamlin anymore. Like, you could just say it. You could just say it. And Feyre is very like, I'm not going to give her the satisfaction of answering that question. Because she basically doesn't want her to win in that way. Mm-hmm. Which is interesting.
Doesn't she say it though? I remember being so embarrassed by it. Doesn't she say it in the last task? Like, oh, I love you. Yeah. And even if it doesn't matter, if it doesn't break anything, I just want you to know that I love you. Yeah. I remember her saying that. And me being like, God damn, this is embarrassing.
It's Amarantha who was just like, no, you don't love him. You do not love him. But end of the book, we are basically seeing Feyre, who is now like home with Tamlin, and she does bring up that Rhys is eventually gonna come back in her life because she did make that promise.
Yeah.
How the fuck is that? Is that how it ends? I don't remember what happens at the very end.
So the thing is that Rhys shows up, and I think it's just Rhys and Feyre at first. Yeah. And he's like, oh, so how does it feel? You're no longer human, whatever. Yeah. And I think she says something along the lines of, like, she either wishes she, like, no longer felt things, how she thought it would happen. Yeah. Something about her emotions. Because she was still kind of feeling them. But, so then he's, like, gonna say goodbye to her. But did you remember that he, like, kind of looks at her, like, in shock? And then he leaves? Which, by the way, we didn't even say he has bat wings. Did we say that?
He is a bat boy.
Anyway, yeah. So he has bat wings. Cool. Anyway, so then Tamlin shows up. And that's when they're like, oh, my God. Now we can go do whatever the fuck we want. And that's how it pretty much ends. Like, it literally felt like that was it. That's the conclusion of the story.
There's more books.
Yeah. So I was like, wait.
Oh
what?
Oh my gosh. Okay. The end. Thank you for watching. But do you remember that one scene where Rhys was talking to Feyre? And I don't fucking remember the context, but Feyre basically says, like, oh, you didn't have to, like, we didn't have to come up with a proposition for hanging out with each other. I would have, like,
oh, yeah. Wasn't that near the end?
Every single, I
think that was the end.
I fucking hate it.
I thought it was really sweet because she pretty much said, like, we could have just been friends. Yeah. Not having to, be forced to be friends.
I know TikTok, and I know that people ship her and Rhys.
Oh, girl, I know everything that happens.
Don't tell me. I don't.
I'm just kidding. I don't know everything that happens, but I've seen a lot of TikToks.
Because I see his name all the time.
Mm. Do you ever see Tamlin's?
No, that's why I'm like, oh my God. And it's funny because I was looking up how you spell their names because I listened to the audiobook. And I looked up Feyre, Tamlin. I just, like, put the names all next to each other with how I thought you spelled it.
Oh,
it was
God.
Really bad. But,
why would you do that?
But it's funny because one of the first posts was, like, Phelan. So that means, like, their ship name. Yeah. And I'm like, for some reason, I don't think this is, like, the most talked about ship in this thing. Because it's the first guy. It's never the first guy.
It's never the 1st
I'm
guy.
so
Yes, it
mad,
is.
though. No.
Most of the time it is. I feel like before when we were younger, it was always the first guy that she meets, who main character.
Yes.
She isn't the main character. Whoever the main character meets, that's who she ends up with. Yeah. So I kind of like that now it's a little bit different. Now it's freaking anyone's game. Who knows?
But I really do like Tamlin.
No, so do I. But I know that no one likes him now. So
I know. He's going to have to do something to fuck it up.
Oh, I think he does.
Oh, God.
There's no way that he doesn't.
But you're right. When this book ended, it did feel kind of like
this is the end. Yeah. Here's a little conclusion. I feel like you could literally just stop here. Yeah. Why keep going? This is
Thank you.
This is it. Wrapped up really nice in a little bow.
It didn't occur to me that this was a Beauty and the Beast.
That is so funny that you didn't realize it, because I didn't know that it was a Beauty and the Beast retelling going into it.
Yeah.
It wasn't until near the end, I think, when it clicked.
I know with all the other books, they're going to talk about the 7 courts. I wrote down all the names of the 7 courts.
Oh, I know. So recent is the High Fae of the Shadows? The Dark Court? I don't know.
The Night Court.
There you go. Thank you. Okay. So we need to talk about the most important thing going into this book.
Okay.
Did you feel like it was like these hollow vows?
Oh my God. Okay.
So we're not going to talk about these twisted bonds right now. We're only going to talk about these hollow vows.
Yes, which is the first of the Lexi Ryan duology. Mm-hmm. That was the entire reason that we read this book.
Yeah.
We read it because we were so big on these hollow vows being like the superior book, but we had never read ACOTAR, so we couldn't make the judgment.
Even though we were making the judgment.
Now, having read it, I do have two things to say first. When I read ACOTAR, the length of it scared me.
Yeah,
it scared me really
too.
Long. I listened to the audiobook. It was I think it was 15 hours worth.
I think it was more than that.
I listened to it in faster speed. Not as fast, but like mine was 15 hours. And I
don't remember actually how long it took me.
It was a lot. But I was like, okay, I'm going to be super, super open. I'm not going to hate
unbiased
on it before I start, because I remember when I read these hollow vows and I saw the length of it, it kind of threw me off too. Mm-hmm. But when I read these hollow vows, I was like, there's not enough pages. There needs to be more of this. Uh-huh. There are moments in this story, ACOTAR, where I agree with what you said about me. The journey... There were some parts that's like, why the fuck did we even go through that?
Okay, I should say this book does feel a little bit like a slow burn. A little bit.
Yeah.
Because it took forever for something to start happening between Tamlin and Feyre.
Yes.
But also, it took forever for something interesting to happen, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, it was just so long.
Because I think...
for no reason.
The biggest part where I was super into it was with that ceremony thing that was going on.
The summer solstice?
No.
Oh, the ritual.
The ritual.
The midsummer thing.
Yes. So that's when I was more like invested in it.
Because something was happening.
Yeah. But, I mean, I don't want to... Because the thing is, I liked the characters a lot. And I like the characters in both ACOTAR and in these hollow vows. I don't think there are characters that are completely like carbon copies of each other. Because I think they were comparing Finn and Rhys. I think it was them.
Oh, I guess I can kind of see that.
I could too.
Tamlin and Sebastian. I don't see it.
I don't see it either. But I love Tamlin. I love Tamlin so much, and I thought his character was really good. Mm-hmm. But it also feels like there wasn't enough moments between Tamlin and Feyre for me to be like, oh, they're in love. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
Really, really slow. But
so really fast. So when it actually happened, when they actually did fall in love, it happened very quickly. Yeah, it did. So yeah, comparing these two books, I still prefer these hollow vows. Oh yeah, so do I. And I went in unbiased, okay? Swear to you. I really wanted to see what people were saying. I don't see how people can compare even the Cruel Prince
Yeah.
with ACOTAR, what, just because they're fairies?
Yeah. I think that's all it is.
Mm-hmm.
I think people want to have like the superior fantasy book.
Yeah, and it sucks because people will literally say these Hollow Vows is like the cheap version of ACOTAR, and I'm like,
I don't
girl,
agree.
how? It's
I
a
don't
better
agree.
plot.
You know what I think it is too, though? I feel like this book has such a cult following, which isn't a bad thing.
No, it's not.
But because of that, like, the community of people who like this book, I feel will defend it to the ends of the earth. I have books like that.
Yeah.
That I'm the same way.
No, yeah, same. Me too.
But I'm just like, oh man, that makes me sad for these Hollow Vows.
It deserves more love.
Yeah. And you know what's so funny? That we made an episode about ACOTAR, but have never made an episode about these Hollow Vows.
We're gonna make it next.
I know, but it's like, I like how it took us this long.
No, but we did talk about it in our tier list.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's not like we never mentioned it.
Oh man. I think now talking about this with you, out of both of the high fae, I really do like Reese. I don't want to like him because I'm gonna be so heartbroken with Tamlin.
I know. See, that's how I felt too. I really liked Tamlin too. I thought Tamlin was like the perfect choice for her.
Yeah.
But then the fact that she had this bond with Reese, I was like, oh, this is gonna stir the fucking pot. Like, this is gonna get juicy.
Yeah.
But we know who she ends up with.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Are they done?
I think they're not.
These books aren't done, huh?
No.
So I know that she ends up with Reese for a second. So
yeah, and I think that's Endgame. Like, that's going to be Endgame.
I think so,
unless
too.
there's more.
There's another guy, Lucian.
All 7 courts are gonna be in on this one. Oh my god.
Oh, kind of
I
cute.
love Lucian.
Yeah, I love Lucian too.
Damn.
I do like that this book had an ending though, because I don't know if I've said this before, but I really wish that authors would stop making like open endings or like cliffhangers, only because this is really morbid, but like, what if something happens? Like, I don't want to be morbid, but I think about that as an author, like as a writer. I'm like, what if like something happens to me and this book never finished? Like, I want my books to feel like an ending.
It kind of reminds me of that one Japanese couple where they're both really known for their manga. They got married to each other. The one who made Hunter x Hunter and the one who made Sailor Moon.
Yeah, you told me.
Yeah, and how the manga artist for Sailor Moon, her husband is like, he's sick. Like, he's slowly passing away. So she learned his art style so that if he passes away, she'll continue his story.
That's so sad.
I know, but you're right, because sometimes I don't want to buy the second book. So it's like, can I just finish on this one? Because if it ends in a cliffhanger, I have to read the second one.
Yeah.
That's how I felt about After. Thank God there were movies.
Thank God we could stop. Although we did see the second one together.
No, we did, but that was like good enough for me.
Yeah,
we do have to watch the
We do have to watch the last one, but okay. But that's something that I appreciate. Obviously, I'll still enjoy books that end in a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
But I did really like that this one, it closed nicely.
Yeah,
I love that. And I like that she ended up with Tamlin. Obviously, I am curious to know what happens in the next one. But I can wait. I could wait. Maybe. I don't know, actually.
Overall thoughts. I could just not read it. I'm okay with just not reading any of the other books. I overall did enjoy reading this. It was fucking long and some parts were brutal, but I think I did like the story that was being told. I liked the whole idea of the tasks, even though some of the tasks were fucking stupid. But I like
fact that she couldn't read.
Very Banjo-Kazooie, which is like an old fucking video game vibes. But I expected more from a book that people talk about so much on BookTok. And it was a little, like, I had such high expectations going into it that I'm really disappointed that I didn't like it more than I thought I would. And like I said, I was so open-minded. I went in like, okay, I can't hate on this just because of how I feel about anything. I'm just going to try my best, read it. And I did. And I don't want to continue. I know that there's supposed to be a show, right?
Yeah, they're supposed to be made it into a Hulu show, I think.
If it does have a Hulu show, I'm okay with reading the second book. but I'm going to complain the whole time.
But I won't be happy about it.
I think overall I would give this book a 2 out of 5.
What?
Not a 2.7. That's too high.
Dang, I didn't want to guess that low for you. I thought you would have been nicer.
No, I think a 2. And nothing
That's
against
really
the
low.
people who like it. But 5 out of 5 fan art. I like seeing the fan art.
Oh, yeah, the fan art is really good.
Yeah.
People are so talented.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I can understand why people are really into this story. Like, it's, you know, I think it has like good elements to it. You know, it's a retelling. Beauty and the Beast. Who doesn't love Beauty and the Beast?
You're right.
Thank you.
You got me there.
I thought that the romance could have been a little bit stronger, but I think overall it was all right, especially because it had like a really nice like ending to it. I don't know. It's weird because I feel like I had a similar experience to you where I felt like, wow, I thought this book was going to be a lot better than it made us think it would be, right?
Yeah.
Because so many people love it. But at the same time, I'm like, okay, I didn't hate it as much as I thought I was going to hate it.
Yeah, I would agree.
I think I would be down to read the next book only because okay, actually, I think I am down to read the next book because I don't know if you ever saw that I posted a TikTok where I said, give me books where there is like a betrayal. I want to feel something. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
So somebody actually said, I don't know if it's the second book to this one or the third one. And I just, like, they've told me twice. 2 different people told me twice that it had a really good betrayal. And I'm so curious. I want to feel it.
Okay.
So that's why I think I would be down to continue it.
Okay.
But I'm not like gonna do it in this month or next month.
I'll be down. If you're gonna read it, I will read it at the same time, but I do need time to
heal.
Yeah, to recuperate.
Oh, you're down? Okay,
yeah,
I'm down.
Now I am. You convinced me.
I want to feel it. I'm so excited to get to it. And I think I would give this experience a solid 3. I think a solid 3 because I feel like a 2 is too low, and I feel like
a middle ground. Like I
shut
said.
up. No, but like I was thinking that with the last book too, not the last one. Demon in the Wood was the last one. Whatever was before that.
Sunbearer.
No, did you say middle for me? I think you did.
I did.
You did, and the one before that, To Kill a Kingdom.
Okay,
You said
I won't middle it anymore. I won't middle ground it anymore.
I feel like
you're either a 5 or a 0.
No, a 5 or a 1.
Oh, you're right. You're right. I'm sorry.
No, yeah, but I just feel like I enjoyed it more than I thought I would, but I also have high expectations.
Yeah.
But I think we're done.
Yeah. I feel a little disappointed.
Why? Why are you disappointed?
I don't know. I hope that to those of you who are watching on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, or anywhere you get your podcasts on, after you leave us a 5-star rating, because we really, really would enjoy that.
We have had an influx of people that have been listening to us, which is kind of crazy. And it's amazing. We really appreciate it. And I don't know if you've noticed the people who have rated us 5 stars. It is so sweet. It really means a lot to us. Yeah. And I think it would help boost our podcast because we would be more recommended that way.
For those of you who have listened to us, please let me know what you liked about this book. Because I want to switch. I want to be a switcher. I want to be into this book. So please tell me. I'll read the comments. I will. If you would like to tell your friends, families, loved ones, hated ones, people who have kidnapped you because you killed their friend Andres. Oh,
Andres, the wolf.
But if you want to recommend us, that would be really great because the best type of exposure is through word of mouth. If you are watching us on YouTube, thank you. This is our first filmed with camera video in a very long time.
In a while, yeah.
I know we look much older and much wiser, but
stressed out too.
But if you can like, comment, and subscribe and hit that notification bell because we are trying to post every Tuesday and Thursday. It's kind of hard though because we live really far away from each other.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah. Usually at the end of episodes.
You should follow us on TikTok.
Oh, you're right. Also, to promote our social media. You should follow us on Instagram under the Book Fix Pod, THEBOOKFIXPOD, because that would be really nice. But
so sweet of you.
we're not as active on there. If you want to really see us being hilarious, follow us on...
Comedians.
I know.
Mostly Chelly, honestly.
No, it's you.
No,
You're
it's
funny,
no,
dude.
no, no.
Oh my God. No, you sell yourself short too often.
No,
You're hilarious.
Trust me, Chelly's the funny one.
Follow us on the Book Fix. It's just Book Fix, right?
Yeah.
Follow us on the Book Fix on TikTok. THEBOOKFIX. The Book Fix. Thank you. For the end of our episodes, we roll a die, and if we get an even number, we like to read a positive review off of Goodreads. But if we get an odd number, we like to read a negative review off of Goodreads. These reviews have nothing to do with our opinions on the books, and we just leave them in the air and we don't talk about them.
We don't ever talk about it.
So, you want to do your roll?
Yeah, by the way, we never mentioned the fact that fairies can lie. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it's crazy, but I don't care enough. Isn't that crazy?
Bro, there's a coloring book. There's a
5 out of 5.
ACOTAR coloring book.
Okay.
She does not care.
No, I ordered it. Sorry, I didn't tell you.
Right now.
Okay.
All right. I'm ready.
Hold on. Let me open Goodreads.
Oh, I want to read one because I feel like you always read one.
Okay. Go ahead. Roll your die.
Okay, I have an app. Let me see.
I'll do the sound.
Wow, so good.
Is that good? Okay.
Yeah. Oh, shit. Oh my God. But these always get positive.
Okay. No, you gotta show it. You gotta show it.
Okay.
And we can't. It's gonna edit it. We got this.
Okay.
A 5, which is a negative review. Sorry, I can't do odds and evens right now.
Okay.
Okay, negative review off of Goodreads.
Let me see. This is so funny. You know, I love people's passion, but damn, is it long?
Oh my gosh. Someone did their dissertation on this.
Okay. Okay, so are you ready?
Yes.
This review is written by Cindy.
Okay.
They gave it 2 out of 5 stars, and they wrote, I approached this book with an open mind and wanted to enjoy it, despite not being a fan of the superfluous writing style or the lackluster world building. I was still willing to rate it 3 stars by viewing it as an easy, guilty pleasure romance book. The relationship seems harmless, and I still don't see how it's as problematic as people dramatic.
It's okay.
Problematic as people make it seem. The first half of the book is a standard Beauty and the Beast retelling, not awful, not special either, and the second half really dips in quality, which lowered my rating to 2 stars. A couple glaring issues that stood out to me. 1, the background story of the curse is literally told instead of shown via a side character's lengthy monologue. This was disappointed since I was intrigued to find this out by piecing clues together, not by being told it straightforwardly, like a regurgitated Wikipedia article. The main character seems relatively smart, but consistently has leaps of logic that are clearly there for the sake of the plot. 9 out of 10 times she won't follow the advice of another character. 3, the antagonist is so cartoonish, like mustache twirling cartoonish. She gives a bunch of arbitrary challenges and rules for no reason other than the sake of stringing along a story. It feels like she's hosting a game show or some overly complex scavenger hunt. There's no reason why she'd bother setting up any of these superfluous rules. I think this is the worst antagonist I've ever read. I'm willing to overlook the writing style and the bland romance, but once I got to the part where Feyre answers the riddle, I had to drop it down. Hold on. I hit the mic. I'm willing to overlook the writing style and bland romance, but once I got to the part where Feyre answers the riddle, I had to drop it down to 2 stars because it was so ridiculous and lazy. I've heard that the sequel is much better though, so I'm willing to give it another try, just not anytime soon.
Thank you so much for listening and watching, and we will talk to you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Actually, Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday. Oh I forgot we post twice.
Or trying to.
Oh my gosh. I feel like a weight has been lifted.
Honestly, so do I. I feel like a new woman. You want to see me do a cartwheel?
Go. We go off screen. We like cross over.
I knocked down the camera.